All right, I had a question about 5.2 annuities, and it said to find the future value, that's what FV stands for, given the payment is $1,800 at 1.3% compounded monthly for 2 years. Now, this formula is similar to what's given to you in MathLab. However, I kind of changed it up just a little bit. I find that using the N and the I, the way that MathLab does, I get confused about what numbers should go where. So we still have payment just like their formula and the future value. And then instead of saying 1 plus I put 1 plus R over N, where R is that percent as a decimal. So we do have to convert that one. N is going to be the number of times compounded. Now, something else that kind of confuses me or that I don't like about MathLab is that they just put an N at the top, but they make you calculate how many months that would be or how many compounds that would be. I like to write NT just because it helps me to realize what exactly is going on and then to figure it out using the formula. So let's look at all the things we're given. We are searching for future values. I'm going to write FV equals our payment is $1,800. And then, oh, I'm going to run out of space, aren't I? We're going to be plugging in all the things. So the big question about these types of problems is not necessarily the math. So let me just restart a little bit lower so I don't run into my other formula. Whenever you're on a calculator, now if you're using Desmos.com for your calculator, it's going to work beautifully for you right now. Just remember that since we have to use the lockdown browser since we are not in person, it does not have that option. It does have a link for the scientific calculator. And then I'm going to try to help you with that. So monthly, remember, N is 12. So I'm going to say over 12 raised to the 12 times 2, or this 2 is going to be our number of years. You could write a 24 up there. You do not have to leave it as a multiplication problem. I'm just trying to show how I'm plugging it into the formula I gave you. So I'm going to write this all down, 0.013, and then I'm going to give some calculator hints. All right, so this is the equation that we have and that what we need to type in somehow into a calculator. If you only have a scientific calculator, you don't have a graphing calculator, or you're trying to do this in different steps, the less advanced your calculator, the more steps you're going to have to take. So if you're doing this, say, on your phone, now that's the worst type of calculator you can use, but you would start here, get a number, then plus 1. Then you would take that quantity, raise it to 24th power. Then as a separate calculation, you have to go minus 1. And then I would write that number down. Separately, I would then type this in, get a number. Then you have to do top divided by bottom, then times 1,800. So lots and lots of steps. For this, if you are using a scientific calculator, the key here is to add an additional parenthesis for the top. So you have to add this additional parenthesis so that it does this portion minus 1, and it does all of this, then divided by the bottom. If you are leaving the bottom as a fraction, you will also need parentheses there. So what do you have to do? Well, if I was going to straight type this into, let's say, a one-line scientific calculator, I would type in 1,800, parenthesis, parenthesis, parenthesis. That's 3 of them. That's crazy, but there's 3. And then I would say 1 plus 0.013 divided by 12, close one set of parentheses, little caret, 24, minus 1, another set of parentheses. Then, because we keep going, divided by 0.013 divided by 12, close and close. So you can see I opened 1, 2, 3. This one closes. The middle one closes. Divided by, open, close, and then our outside. So the key for typing this in to any type of calculator is the parentheses and order of operations. So just be careful with all this, and then you should get those correct answers that you need for MathLab. Okay, one other side note about annuities in just this section. I know this is a rough section. Whenever I teach this in person, this is usually the one where people are just asking tons of questions, getting super lost, or just feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Once you figure out how to type them in correctly to a calculator, the actual math side is not that difficult because the calculator does all the work. But figuring out how to type it into the calculator is the key. So just go slow. I hope this helps. Just know parentheses are your friend. Just make sure you're opening and closing and that everything is set up so the order of operations can be maintained. Good luck. Let me know if you need more help.